Well, good morning, everybody. This is Charles Owen, and I'm going to give another minute or so. I can see people are still logging in and coming online here. We've got lots of attendees today, so appreciate the generosity of your time today. As you can tell on my voice, I apologize. I'm just getting over a little bout of laryngitis, so nothing serious, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this entire presentation. But again, let me go ahead and pause for about another 30 seconds while other people get logged into the system. Well, I think we can go ahead and safely get started here. Again, my name is Charles Owen. Been with Paladin now 12 years. As I mentioned briefly, sorry about the voice, getting over some laryngitis that I've had over the last few days, but I'm definitely on the mend. I appreciate your time today in coming and viewing this presentation. I know that you've got a lot of things going on. Your store is probably very busy. It is the fall season. We've got a lot of activity. And I do appreciate that you are investing this time to learn more about how you can increase your return on investment. That's what this is all about. This is about us, Paladin, sharing with you information that will enable you to hopefully advance your technology return on investment, and also enable you to really embrace the Paladin system so that you can get everything out of it that you ever expected. So today's topic is BizCheck, improves performance, increases profit. So let's see what we're going to learn here. So our next slide talks about what you're going to learn. We've got choosing the right technology solution is something that I will cover. Now, most of you have already selected your technology solution, and we can just revisit the reasons why this is important. And then measuring and monitoring your success for your stores, and look at investing in your technology. It's not something that you want to let atrophy, and we can talk about that. BizCheck services, what it means, what does it all mean? You know, we're going to go over some of those processes in which we invoke when we're doing an assessment at your store and providing your BizCheck services consultation. We'll talk about the computer equipment, the observing and assessing, and then advanced training on the topics that we come up with that are relevant. And then other steps to improved performance and other things that we do during our engagement with you through a BizCheck that will help you, again, take full advantage of the Paladin system, your knowledge, and the technology. So let's move into the next slide, shall we? So choosing the right technology solution. So you chose the technology solution to hopefully improve your store performance and operations. You want to simplify your operations, increase efficiencies, improve the consumer shopping experience, promote customer satisfaction, grow profitability, enhance inventory management. These are all reasons that you want to select a technology solution. Again, most of you that have logged in today are already on a technology solution, hopefully Paladin, and you see that, yes, you are realizing the success here that for choosing the right technology solution. And there's always room for improvement, however, and that's what we're doing here today. Also, leveraging technology. Pardon me, store processes should fit into your technology, not vice versa. What does that mean? It means if you have a process in play right now or that you've used for 20, 30, 40 years, and you bring a new technology solution, the last thing is that you want to do is you want to try to push that computer system into your current process. The better way to do it to get more mileage out of your technology investment is to use the product the way it was designed. If you do that, then you're going to get the most out of your system. Moving on to measuring and monitoring success. So what does this mean? A lot of folks that we talk to, they don't exactly know what the numbers are because they maybe they haven't made the move to technology. Yes, believe it or not, there are people out there who have not embraced a point of sale system or any technology for that matter, other than maybe a general ledger package to run their business. Well, it's very important before you make that investment that you measure where you're at today, monitor it, and you want to see that there's improvement over time. So this is, you want to monitor this performance and measure it pre and post implementation of your technology, right? This is just stuff that you should be doing naturally every day, and you've probably done it for years and years. But just to remind you, sales and profit margins, customer count, invoice transaction size. These are things that we want to see improvements on. You want to see improvements on workflows, efficiencies, and also look at your business metrics. Everybody's got their favorite numbers, right? Some of you like to look at your gross margin return on investment, or your GMROI or GMROI, product turns, product outs, inventory investment, how much you have invested in inventory, what your gross profit is per square foot. All these things are really important. But if you don't know what they are, how do you know that you're getting improvement after you've implemented technology? So if you haven't done it as of yet, it's a great idea, especially if you're in your first year on a technology solution like Paladin. You'll want to start putting some of these measurements in place so that you can monitor where you're going and make sure that you're moving in the right direction, which is extremely important. These are some of the things that we can help you with through a BizCheck consultation. So moving on to the next slide. So this is a little reminder. You only get into out of something what you put into it, right? In this case, we're talking about technology. And the statement here is, don't let technology solution atrophy, because then the reasons that you purchased a technology solution to begin with start eroding, if you will. So continually invest in your hardware, continually invest in your terminals, your PCI compliancy with credit card processing, all your peripherals. There's always new bells and whistles coming out that you might take advantage of. In some cases, it's fine if you don't. Just use what's steadfast and going good for you. But know that there's a half-life on all your equipment. It's not going to last forever. It's funny, we get some people that call up and they, I haven't had a problem, until now. What's going on? What's the problem? Well, how old's your solution? Well, we bought it 6 years ago. Yeah, okay. So maybe it's important to put a plan in place to be able to replace that. So also, what about managed services? If you're having problems with virus detection or malware, and or your database is becoming heavy with large amounts of data, which is slowing down your searches and things like that. Your Windows updates aren't up to date. That could cause a lot of problems, particularly with your drivers, with your devices like printers and scanners and that sort of thing. Cloud backups is also important. It's important to make a backup every day, and you can even do it multiple times a day. There's just a little button in Paladin that says backup. Throw it onto a flash drive, stick it in your pocket, put it in the safe, make sure it's protected. But if by chance something happens to that information or data, a cloud backup will give you protection, because that means every hour we're backing up your system into our data center, which you would understand or know as the cloud. But with us, it's actually a room we have dedicated to us, the servers, and we manage this information for you. We can also manage your system backups. Not only can we back up the database from Paladin, but we can also back up the entire computer if you want us to get to that level of management. So those are different things that, again, you can look into as an option for protecting your investment. And then also, pardon me, what we're talking about today, biz services, right? So what are some of the biz services opportunities that we have at Paladin? Well, these are consultations. BizCheck and BizFit are the most basic of those two, but don't kid yourself. They may be basic, but they are very involved, and they really help you jump to the next level with your use and investment in your Paladin software and technology. So BizCheck is what we're talking about today, and it's an over-the-phone remote assessment and training. And BizFit is more of an on-site, but it's the same information, it's the same data gathering. We found that since COVID, and since we've all had to kind of hunker down and work in place, if you will, and not travel anymore, we found that the BizCheck services are actually equally as effective as being on site. In some cases, even better, because it doesn't matter where you're at. You don't have to come into work as the owner. You can tap in from your home, and somebody, 3 people from work can be there, and then I can be on the phone, and we can bring up the Paladin system, and we can do all the things that we need to do. So it's really effective from a communication standpoint and connecting. And when you're on site, you also get that, but with Teams, with the viewing of our faces and the screens and everything, we can do everything just as effectively, if not more effectively, than being on site. So we really believe it's just is very, very effective. The other piece down here below the little guy greasing up the gears here, it says you should view your technology as an investment, right? So many store owners say, well, this is an expense. I have to do this. I have to do. Well, you know what? It's an investment, and you're investing in all kinds of things. You're investing in products. You're investing in employees. You're investing in programs that bring your customers into your store. Well, technology is a big component of that. And what you're doing is you're investing in the technology so that it doesn't atrophy, so that you're continually growing. Because if I got news for you guys, if you're not growing, you're dying. So you need to really invest. And I'm not talking necessarily monetarily. That is piece of it, but I'm talking about investing your time, investing in learning more about the product, advanced training, and all of those things all make a difference. Moving on. So what is BizCheck? So here are some of the things that we do during the BizCheck. I think it's me personally, I've done many of these, and I love getting in and looking and drilling into the system, looking at the computer equipment, looking at your service logs, verifying that your computers are up to date in every aspect. And then we also make sure that we compare them with the minimum standards, that you're not running in subpar hardware. I think, and regardless of where you buy your hardware, you need to have a plan in place that says every 3 to 5 years, I'm going to start cycling out equipment and bring in new equipment. Because if you don't do that, you're going to be potentially frustrated when your computer dies and you're not prepared for it, or you start having problems with it and it just starts escalating to where you get to the point you're pulling your hair out and eventually you just swap out the computer anyway. Let's be proactive. And this is something that we can do because we know what to look for in the system. We can review your current status. We can review the reliability, the age, and everything else of not only your computers, but your peripherals as well, the printers, the scanners, and other things. All right. So in reviewing the equipment, you're investing in performance, right? That's part of the problem. If you don't continually upgrade your equipment, your performance starts degrading. And it's just over time, it just becomes more and more reliable. Like I said, there's a half-life on every single piece of equipment out there. They don't last forever, guys. They're just mechanical devices. They're computers, and you don't want to run into problems. So I am a huge advocate of upgrading old equipment proactively. Don't wait till it breaks. Reduce your performance delays as you get more equipment. Technology is changing all the time, right? What you bought 5 years ago is not even near equivalent to what is selling today. So they're constantly improving the disk size, improving the performance, increasing the number of how much memory is in a computer, and all these things help contribute to performance. So this is just part of the BizCheck. The next one is observe and assess your store operations. So that's where we come in with our retail knowledge, and we come in with knowledge about Paladin, and we kind of combine the two together, and we look at and we interview the managers and the staff members to see what is your process for this, what is your process for that, and we go through and we look at that and we compare it with the status quo or the norm, and we just make sure that you're on par. And then if not, we're going to make recommendations on how you can increase your performance, increase your efficiencies, and so on. We review your use of the Paladin features. Not everybody uses everything in the system. Oftentimes when we replace systems, there's several out there that we ask the question, why are you coming to Paladin? And some of the responses are, well, support. But one of them is, I'm underutilizing my system. Okay, so whose fault is that? Is that your fault? Is that the computer's fault? It doesn't really matter. The perception is that you're not using the system to its fullest potential. So what do? You throw it out and you get a Paladin system in there. The same thing's going to happen if you don't continually advance your knowledge of the system and features and look for opportunities that can take your existing store and push it way into the performance and efficiencies that you were hoping to get when you purchased Paladin. We evaluate store processes, your ordering process, your receiving process, two huge pieces and components of your business, invoicing and quoting. There's a great opportunity out there on the invoicing and quoting side. We do everything pertaining to invoicing and quoting just about, and you probably don't know what they are, so we can do an advanced training and educate you on that. Third-party integrations. Oh my gosh, we have implemented so many different relationships and integrations with firearms businesses, social media. We've got financial systems, and just there's literally 100 or more integrations that we have with business partners. Point of rental is another one. We've actually, there's just lots of opportunities out there. So if you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole out there with some of your programming in the way that you're utilizing Paladin, there might be another alternative that connects the Paladin like it were one system, but yet you can still do all the things you need to do on the with that other feature. So the store assessment involves, reviewing the store performance. This doesn't just mean that your store is running, your computer's running fast. It means that your efficiencies are there, your operations are in check, and we examine the inventory, how you're doing the reviews and the counting. We're evaluating the software utilization and what products you're using, what products and components you're not using. We reevaluate your suggested ordering process. Believe it or not, half of the Paladin users out there are still using alternative methods to count. And, God bless you if you're doing that. It's just at what cost, right? There's a big time savings to be had if you use the suggested ordering process. And those of you that are using it, you understand this. There is just huge efficiencies, not only efficiencies, but balancing out your outs with your overstock. And because if you're still ordering with a gun or with a tablet, you still have emotion involved in ordering. We're trying to remove that so you can level out, order more of the things that you sell and less of the things that you don't sell. And by doing that, you're going to have optimal stocking. Now, it's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty darn close. And there's things that you can do and tweak and twist if you need to, but our philosophy is, just use the product, let it determine those slow times and busy times, and let it make the determination on your optimal stocking and forecasting. All right, next we analyze the Paladin using Paladin Insight. If you haven't embraced those dials in the system, I have some of you out there who are just nuts about it, and you're like totally obsessed with it, which I think is wonderful. Trying to get those needles into the green bars. It's not about necessarily getting the needles into the green bars, although that is a very effective way to run your system. It's more about understanding what's happening with your inventory, understanding what's happening in your store with overstock, with product outs, and that sort of thing. When you have a better handle on what's happening, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to know about it, because I can tell you some of these dials, like non-performing assets, oh my gosh, that's so challenging, especially in cases where you have display items, right? You've got 50 items in a display, 4 of them sell, and the other 46 just hang out and sell every once a year or something. That's totally fine. But again, it's bringing that to your attention. Consider adding programs and products that enhance customer experience, right? So if you're not leveraging BOGOs today, we have now, for years now we've had BOGOs, and you have actually a control over these BOGOs, so you can do buy one, get one, or buy one get many, or buy one get a different one. There's all different types of programs we have out there, and we find that BOGOs are actually very effective for bringing in those customers that really want a deal. Special orders, serialization, and then some of the integrations like rental and firearms. These are other opportunities that you might be selling firearms today. And when you bought Paladin at the time, if you bought it, 4 or 5 years ago, there wasn't serialization. There wasn't a firearms integration to the bound book. Well, we have all of that now, and now is a great opportunity to leverage that and to expand, again, your efficiencies. Moving on, advanced training on relevant topics. So this is another service that we provide during the BizCheck, is we determine your areas of, let's just say, opportunities. I wouldn't call them weaknesses. I'd just say opportunities, because there's many uses of the system that you probably either adopted your own way to do it, which if it works, great. But if there's a quicker path to get to your goals, we can help you discover that. So we take you to the advanced level, next level of technology utilization. We discover inefficiencies as well as efficiencies, and we also look for simplifying processes, and we learn about the features that you haven't necessarily had time to investigate. And these are all things that we do with you during an entire day. We can do the training of this through the BizCheck advanced training. So it really does focus and target you on the areas of opportunity that you, for your particular store, what your needs are, and we can do that. If we continue here with advanced training, you're investing in your knowledge, right? So we believe strongly that knowledge is very key. Advanced training is very key. Equipping your employees with the proper training is also very key. A lot of times, those folks at the front counter, you're usually the least trained and the least paid, the least compensated, are the front end to your store. They're the front lines for your customers, if you will. They need to have training, folks. You need to train them on the application in Paladin. You need to train them on customer etiquette, how to treat the customers, and it's very important to know that this isn't wasted time. You really need to invest in your most valuable asset in the store, which are your employees. Product knowledge I'm not talking about Paladin product knowledge. I'm talking about just product knowledge throughout the 20, 30,000 items you have in your store. Now, they're not going to know everything, but they can learn the basics, and over time, they get much more experience and become maybe a higher level of salesperson. Create a business plan. This is the simplest thing to do, and it seems like when I talk to a lot of stores, I ask them, what are your 5-year goals? And they say, well, make sure we keep having money come in my bank account so I can, pay the bills. There's better plans out there, guys. And actually in Paladin, if you go to the Paladin point of sale website, top right-hand corner, there's a button that says websites. If you drop that down, under there it says retail science. And within retail science, we have the building blocks for you to create your one-page business plan. And maybe we also have different projects that you can implement as well. And it's through the tools section of the retail science. And we also have where you can see what your GMROI is. We have a calculator for that, and other things as well. And there's all kinds of articles in knowledge in the retail science that talk about how you improve connecting with your customers, getting more customers into the store. What do you do during Christmas, and what are some of the challenges against competing with online stores? I mean, all of that information is there, and a lot of this information is syndicated to magazines, but for the most part, it's there for your viewing. Anybody can access it, but it's of value mostly to you, our customers. So in a summary, the BizCheck improves store performance, bottom line. It helps you increase efficiencies. It helps you learn more about utilizing Paladin, getting more out of your system, taking it from a, hey, I use 10% of my system to I use 80% of my system. Yay, that's perfect. Let's move towards those goals. Some of the things that you walk away with after a BizCheck summary or a BizCheck consultation. And this is a 2 or 3 day event here, guys. This is a dedication in our time to help you, in your time to help yourself. And what you walk away with is a book. Excuse me. In that book, we have an executive overview. So we kind of set the stage of, how this all came about and why we're doing this. And then what observations that we've discovered about your store operations. And we look for challenges and we look for opportunities and we look for potential risks and warnings. I mean, I come across those a lot. Now, I'm going to need your eyes to help determine some of this when it comes to electrical and networking and that sort of thing. But there's still a great opportunity for us to discover things that are potential risks. Also, we end it with an executive summary about here's what our, based on everything we know now, here's what we believe can happen. And then we give you a final scoring and a grade, and you hit a grade scale. I actually do grade the stores between A and D. Nobody's ever qualified for a D, but I've had lots of people in the B and C range. Typically, the A's are reserved for those people who don't only do this once, but every 6 months or a year, they have us reassess and make sure that they're utilizing the system the way that's going to be most advantageous for them. So I highly recommend the BizCheck. It is something that you can sign up with anytime, and there is a fee involved, of course. I think that fee, I'm not on the sales side, but I think that fee is somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 for the 3 solid days of working with you. First day for assessments, and then for training, and then just putting together this document that you walk away. It becomes your Bible of the best way to run your store. And then if you have us out another 6 months later or a year later, we do a reassessment, you're going to see a tremendous performance increase in your scoring. All right, guys. Well, we're open for questions. As we open for questions, I just want to put a plug in for our next webinar. It's on November 17th at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and you can sign up in Paladin. We'll have a little splash screen that shows you where you can click on a button and sign up. Otherwise, you can always go to portal.paladinpos.com/webinars, sign up there and register there. This one is talking about the 6 steps to simplify year-end reporting. There's a lot of things that you need to do by year end, and don't wait till January 31st to do this. Don't wait till, sometime after the time. You need to prepare for this. And that's why we do it early enough in the year so you can get all your ducks in a row and present the information you need to present to your tax accountant or whoever. So that's coming up. I still don't see any questions. I want to just leave you with this. We've got all the information you need in the Paladin knowledge base and retail science. Under the webinars, we have training videos. All that information is available to anybody, anytime. You don't have to be on the Paladin system to access this, and you don't have to be a Paladin customer, which means that, we basically share all of our information with everybody, including our competitors, because we have nothing to hide. We're just trying to do the best we can to help our customers thrive, and that is our goal. Putting your data to use, making sure that we have all the integrations that you need to help your business grow and expand, and then providing you the tools like this webinar and other information that you'll find under Retail Science and our Paladin website. Again, folks, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I'm very generous of you. I know things are busy. God bless you all, and your health, to your health and everything else. I hope you're doing well with the current situation out there. Hopefully we'll get through this soon and it'll all be over in a week. God bless you. Take care.